Alright, what is up everyone? We are going to be ranking the top 10, or I guess top 14, or all 14 red zone bosses, right? I guess basically, not really a top 10 or anything. And we are going to firstly plug this right here. So I did go ahead and make this little thread right here if you guys haven't seen it. Essentially, it's just like a little poll kind of thing, like a data collection thing, to see how you guys would rank the hardest red zone bosses here. And you just kind of select, you know, most difficult 1, least difficult 14, right? All the bosses are here, all the difficulties. If you guys haven't done this, feel free to do so. I just want to see what you guys think will be the hardest or most easiest, right? And of course, I am live on twitch.tv/minatos_flash. I stream sometimes. Gonna be streaming more consistently, so check it out. Link is in the description as well. So we're gonna rank the red zone bosses. Let me actually I should bring up two different things here. Actually, 1 second here. There's actually threads made by Luca, Raspy, and everyone like that. These are the red zone bosses right here. For movie stage and the GT version, so very pog. I stream once every year. True, that's true. Just kidding. I don't stream once every year. If you guys don't know Dodgema, he's a hater. By the way, I'm just gonna say that. Anyways, let's move on here. So, there's only 10 people here. Is there? Why is there only 10? It's 14. Add a row below. There, and then we'll throw this in live right here in the video. Why not? Let's get that done. I put 2. I'm an idiot. No, it's not 21. Okay, 12. Right, count with me, guys. 13 and then 14. There we go. Amazing. Scuffed already. True. It's already so scuffed that you hate to see it, chat. But yeah, continuing on here. Let's just get this right out of the way. I think let's get the hardest boss right out of the way. Broly. I think Broly is by far just the hardest red zone boss. Why is he? Okay, he's supposed to was stupid. Broly by far is just the hardest red zone boss. He just does too much, right? He does a lot of damage. He disables evasion during the entire fights. He has this AoE phase. And look at this damage in the AoE phase. It's still so insane. He could double super attack here, right? And then the thing is that, like, you want to bring a lot of AGL units for this phase. Then this tech phase could really catch you, right? With his 728k super attack damage attack stat. It's quite insane. Now, his actual attack stats aren't really anything difficult until you get here. 400k is a lot attack for sure. It's not like, you know, the worst thing ever, but you definitely do need some pretty good defensive units in order to survive that. So that's why Broly, I think, in my opinion, is the hardest. Let's go to Legic. Legic is the easiest, I think, by far as well. I'm gonna go over Legic just cause, but essentially Legic is just one stage right here. It's just him, AGL. Come on. Mr. Baby would be like this. If this is a Mr. Baby tier list, it would be like this, I think, right? But unfortunately, you know, Legic is kind of weak for everyone else, you know. He is your GOAT, huh? Legic is a GOAT, that's for sure. I think next I will put Turles. Yeah, I think I'm going to put Turles here next. The reason why Turles is not really that high, well, I'll fill in, I think, I'll fill in this first 3 bosses right here, right? Just so we can see this, right? Turles, Lewd, and Slug. Turles is not really that difficult because it's like, he has the... How do I explain it? I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, the issue with Turles is that he has the first phase of 5 minions. They don't really hit that hard, right? If we take a look at the 5 minions here, well, if you're like, their attacks, their super attack damage is like under 300k. They don't hit hard at all, but they have solid HP. So what happens is you are able to really stack up units really freely here. This Turles can hit you decently hard in a super attack, right? But his attack set is so low. I feel like he melts pretty easily. And then this guy, he has a guaranteed stun chance. But like, right? It doesn't really matter. He doesn't really have any gimmicks or anything, right? So, I don't find it hard. Except for this guy, the ball sack guys. Watch out for them. They can be pretty tough. You lost to Turles with Gogeta's team? You suck. I'm sorry. The reason why I have a Lute above him is this guy. He actually lowers your defense here, which is quite interesting. And then his super attack does relatively decent damage, 550k. He just does more damage than Turles, right? Until Turles in his final phase, right? But this isn't really that hard because you're going to prep your units. This is a lot less to prep units. He has to technically be defeated with a super, right? But he does stack attack permanently, which is very interesting, right? And again, this guy lowers your defense, so it can be quite troublesome for a unit to get lower defensively. And then right here, he gets, you know, he can be really annoying with the attack stacking, right? That's really it. That's why I think Lute is harder than him, just because that ability. I think the Slug is overall the hardest the first phases, though. These guys aren't really pushovers compared to the Turles fight, right? Look at their attack stats, 350k, relatively like high-ish for a first boss. Not really anything like that. Slug just hits way harder than Turles, like 756k is a lot. He heals as well. And that's pretty much it, right? He heals. That could be interesting. That could delay the fight. And he does hit hard, so that's the really thing about him. Like, if we take a look at Turles, right? 658k does not come close to 756. He hits way harder than this guy's wall. This Slug was pretty... Like, this Slug was the most difficult boss in the game when he came out, huh? Which is kind of funny to think about. But yeah, when this Slug came out, he was the most difficult boss in the game. That's really funny, actually. But of course, after Slug, we got a few other bosses. I think that it's kind of mixed in difficulty between the last few. Oh, he wasn't the hardest boss? Who was the hardest boss, Striker? Let me know. Let me know. Let's see. I think next, I'm going to put Fusion 13. Fusion 13 would be higher. Issue with Fusion 13 is his double AGL. These guys can be annoying, lowering your attack and defense, right? But they don't hit that hard. This guy does disable evasion, right? But it's like a lot of these strong tech units, like Tech God Goku, you know, doesn't really need to rely on evasion. Tech Gogeta works really well here. I don't know. He hits hard, right? 900k attack stats a lot. But yeah, 13 is a fraud. Because it's like... Okay, come on. You can bring double attack and you just kind of skate through this, right? Yeah, stage for Tech Gogeta, true. Comparing the red zone stages to AGL Cell, I haven't had that fight in a long time. I think you died to that fight, right, Dad? That's where you suck. But yeah, that's why 13's here. I think next is Cooler. Yeah, I would put Cooler next, I think. So with Cooler, these guys don't really hit hard. You actually can't evade against them. I didn't even know that, huh? Disable evasion. No, they could dodge you. Never mind. They have a chance to dodge, right? Cooler has a chance to dodge. Not really anything special. Cooler's just a baby Omega Shenron fight. He can hit you pretty hard, 350k, but like, you know exactly what the super attack is. And, you know, this guy... I think this guy might give me more trouble than this guy. Because his super attack does do solid damage, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just capping there, but... I would say... Cooler's not easy, but it's not really that difficult. Because you know where the super attack is. And that's really a big thing about that. Like, in the game, really, at this point... The damage you're going to take is from super attack. So... You know, this Cooler doesn't have enough HP. I feel like a lot of times you could just blitz Cooler. Yeah, Tommy just said that. You could blitz Cooler, right? Even with the hybrid steam, you're not even gonna take. You could tank the super attack with like Esther going, right? So I would still say he's harder than 13, but I think he's 9 right there for me. Next, I'm going to have Rodo. I think I will have Rodo next. So Rodo, he's difficult because all his phases lower your defense, which is really, really annoying. He could lock you a 60% chance of locking the first slot. Is really annoying as well. right? He doesn't have any like, you know, type coverage like that, right? But Rodo is pretty difficult, I'd say for sure. I think that he could just screw you out of this, and the defense lowering is so annoying, right? He could dodge you as well. I might even move Rodo up later on. We'll see. But lock, yeah, I would say lock is the strongest boss mechanic. Like lock and ceiling is so annoying. Obviously you can't like be debuffed at all or anything like that. So yeah, I think I have a Rodo right here. Next, I'll put the Shadow Dragons, I think. I do think the Shadow Dragon fight is harder. So the reason why I think the Shadow Dragon fight is harder is because I think these two phases do hit you really hard. And they have a lot of HP. They could dodge you as well, which can be quite annoying. This on ice right here has 100% chance to lock you, which is really annoying, right? Which could be really stupid. Nova could dodge you, and again, he hits you pretty hard as well. Nova hits really, really hard. There's like a bunch of typings in here, so you could really, in one sense, you could bring like a bunch of different typings, but in other sense, you're always gonna have a unit that'll have type disadvantage, right? You can get unlucky, right? This phase could be annoying because he hits relatively hard, right? Especially if units aren't stacked up. Because with this fight, you're going to bring a lot of units that stack up. So you don't want to get caught off guard, right? I think this stage you could cheese it. But I still think the difficulties... Is it harder than Rodo? I think that guaranteed lock by ice. I think it's just these two bosses, I think, that really makes it difficult. But I think, nah, I think I'm gonna put Rodo above. I think Rodo lowering defense and then being just instant like that, I think he is above them, actually. I will change my mind about that for sure. But don't underestimate this fight. I think they're pretty neck and neck. I would argue they're neck and neck in terms of difficulty, but I think I would put Rodo up there above the ice. I'm looking at chat, right? Again, chat could influence it. It's a shorter fight too, right? So you have less time to stack up. I think next I'm gonna put Janemba. I do think Janemba is harder than Rodo, I still think. Because the reason why is Janemba actually hits you pretty hard. If we take a look here, you can blitz Janemba really easily. I think that's the one thing about Janemba. Where is Janemba? Oh, I've been looking at the GT ones. I'm a fraud. The Janemba, you could blitz him really easily, right? He could dodge you, but this super attack damage is a lot. He hits you very hard. And if you're not able to like get past this phase and blitz him, you can, you know, have struggles with this one. He changes your orbs too in these phases, which could be annoying, especially if you have, like, units that really want, you know, orbs. He hits way harder than the Rodo, I feel like. I would say he does hit harder than the Rodo. Yeah, like, well, this Rodo last phase hits hard, but Janemba just hits harder. This first phase hits you pretty hard as well, right? So that could be really, really annoying. Again, there's not really a type coverage here, but yeah, I'd say if you get to the red zone, not the red zone, the rage mode, his attack stat is pretty high. Like compared to like Rodo, his actual attack stats aren't really that high. And I think you have more of a chance to blitz Rodo than you do with the Janemba. So, because look at the HP that it has, right? Just my opinion. I would say Janemba is harder, for sure. Yes, I am live. Hello, Demonxor. I'm making Red Zone tier list, which is pretty good. I would say Super 17 really this high, huh? Yeah, I think Super 17 is 5. Super 17 is pretty quick. I think the healing from blast super attacks really like limits to the units you can actually bring, right? You can't use like the active skills to clear 17 from like the year 7s, right? It's only 2 phases again. I think a lot of these, you can make the argument for a lot of these that you could just blitz them. But it's not necessarily the same with 17 because he has this. His super attack damage is very, very high. 1 million for sure. These guys could be quite annoying too. 625k. If they double super you, especially early on, they could hurt you. And they have a lot of HP. You can't nuke him, right? That's the thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it there. He can get dodgy, 5% chance, not really that great. I found this guy to be relatively tanky too, right? He has 60%, 7% damage reduction. I found him like relatively tanky, right? And his health, there's a lot of health shared between here, so that's why I would say 17 is harder. His attack stat is pretty high too, right? I suppose like compared to Janemba, right? I think it's just a harder version of just this Janemba fight, especially because there's 2 enemies here. I don't know, but that's really it. And then STR is a pretty solid typing to be. Yeah, Truth taking 600k was hilarious, right? I remember Truth put Tycho Dita first line, he hit really hard. And yeah, he has a super attack that can't really be like countered, right? That's another thing that lining brought up. That's why I have 17 at 5 right here. I think next I'm gonna put Baby. I think there's like, I would say right here there's a gap, and then right here there's probably a gap too, right? Maybe like right here too, but I think from 17 to Baby, it's clear that Baby is a more difficult boss. You beat Super 17 with Goku Gohan leads, and the Age of Vegeta came out with them. Yeah, he forgot to do Blast Supers, right? Again, that's the thing, like a lot of these units are limited by 17, which is an issue. I will say with Baby, it just, like, he's like, the AoE is really stupid. Baby was very difficult when it came out. He could actually do, how many? 7 AoE per turn. And those AoE attacks do hit you 313k, which is pretty, they do some solid damage for sure. And it can attack you before your units are able to get super attacks off. His super attack damage, 1 million. He has a guaranteed stun chance there. This guy hits you really hard, even in the second phase, 672. This guy lowers your defense, right? And then I found this guy not to be that bad because you're bringing a bunch of physical units, but he still hits you hard. I think it's more so like you can explain it, but when you actually fight BB, you understand, right? His AoE is really corny. You can, like, you know, bring Super Saiyan 4 Gojin and blitz him a little, but I just think that he is pretty difficult. In 4 phases, you would say that it's fine because you could stack up with the characters, but this guy hits you pretty hard really fast, I think, a lot of the time, so he can be pretty difficult. So I would say he's 4. This Baby is quite annoying. Now, I think that people aren't going to like what I do next, but I actually have Omega Shenron as 3rd. I have Bojack above him. Let me see. I know there was a post that was deleted. I do have Bojack above Omega, personally. But you could really switch between the two, right? I just think it depends on your experiences. Like, I've been playing Red Zone for, you know, a very long time, obviously. For a few months at this point. I just think that Bojack has more, like, things that you can't really work around, right? More annoyances that you can't really work around like that, right? First off, all these guys could just, like, super you first turn. And then you just, like, are low HP. Like, they could do that, right? It's very easy. It's like a super it's like a very difficult super battle road stage, right? This Bojack hits hard, 854k. Now, I would say this Sin Shenron hits very hard too. Omega cannot see you in all turns. Omega can only see you in the first turn, right? And even then, like, you know, if we're gonna compare the ceiling, Bojack guaranteed ceiling and guaranteed locking is really, really annoying. And he hits you pretty hard for 975k, right? He could also dodge you, which is annoying. It's not as high as Omega, I think. It is actually the same chance, huh? I just think that thing with Omega, I would say 1 or 2 things with Omega, probably. Well, no, it's really just one thing with Omega. If this was an int type, I think he would be above Bojack for sure. But I just think that, like, so many runs that with, like, Omega, you, like, bring Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's team, use the active skills here and blitz this STR Sin Shenron, and then you're just good, right? Like, I had more difficulty like no item runs with Bojack, personally, right, than Omega. Because this could be annoying with the lowering attack and defense, but at least it's only in the first phase, too. It's really tough. It's really... Again, I could see this. I could easily see this. I'd want to do this. I think I want to do this. Would be my preference. But obviously I'm going to rank them. It just really depends on your luck. It depends on your... Because these bosses are both RNG based, right? Like, you can get very lucky with Bojack in one tournament, and then Omega, you struggle. With Bojack, he could lock your slot 3 unit in all, like, attempts, and then they get super and you die, right? Like, Omega, you know, I don't know. I just feel like with Omega, there's more workarounds. Because, like, Bojack is just guaranteed, like, locking this thing. While it's Omega, you know, it's kind of less RNG based, right? And then the fact that the AoE, you could predict the AoE, right? Like, it does a huge amount of damage if you take it. But I think there's a lot of workarounds for the AoE still. Because you know exactly what the AoE is going to be. With the countdown, we know exactly where the countdown is going to be during the turn. So you can help protect units like that. His attack set does hit very hard, of course, right? Way harder than Bojack. That's not even a question. But yeah, I mean... Man, it's so difficult. If you attack break with the AoE, it just only disables one attack, right? Yeah, I just think that I might just do this, honestly. I would have to shift the list down, but well, I could just do this, right? I think I'm gonna do this. It just really RNG dependent, based on your own experiences. I think this is the best. I think I like this. If I had to rank one above the other, I would say Bojack above Omega personally, but they're really even. That's what I would do. I think this would be my red zone tier list. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There it is. That is red zone right there, and how I would rank each of the bosses. Again, YouTube, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm really gonna be very interested to see. Make sure you fill out this form. I want to see what your guys' thoughts are in terms of the red zone difficulty. I have a lot of responses as well, so that's pretty cool already. But yeah, thank you all for watching to the end, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.